Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and I am finally back in from the depths where, as explained in another video and as many people have found, there's lots of changes have happened. So I was not able to continue the previous campaign, so we're going to start again. But I'm going to start this campaign with a few ideas in mind. So we'll go through it as the campaign develops. The idea is not to be a challenge, it is to go through and show the game and look at how you need to develop ships and weapons, etc., against the various troops, rather than just following me playing the game. So rather than a playthrough, I want to do this slightly more as a tutorial style and or just some tips style as such. So let's go without further ado into a game. So under the new game we've got the multiple starting positions and quests for this one now. So we're going to go for the basic quest for Netta, which means we start as ourselves and we have to fight all of the other factions rather than starting as Onyx, Watch, White Flares, etc. We may look at those as those develop and take them through. Now as you can see, there's quite a few of these. You've got options to be able to go through and start as the different groups, and you get to different starting points, etc. But we're going to leave it on the standard default that a new player would normally go with. Right, going through the campaign options for us here. Now the difficulty modifier, I'm going to leave on 1. Now basically on the difficulty modifier, the higher you place this, if we put this up to 4, it means the enemy will do us more damage for every time they hit. So we'll have to be more defensive, or we're more likely to get blown up. It increases the damage of the enemy but not your own. Now I'm going to leave this on 1 because I think we're going to go you know, equal as far as that goes. Oh, come on, I can't get there. We go. Right, the enemy growth factor. What that affects is how quickly the enemy will build ships and how quickly they will grow on the map. Now we've got it at 0.5, which means it's a little lower than normal, so we're going to put it up to 75%. So we're going to have some largish enemies to go against. Right, resources by destroying the enemy. So on here, when we go into a battle, how many resources, how much percentage of resources do we get back from the ship that get left there that we can go and pick up later? And it can be anything from 10% to down to nothing. So we'll set it at a nice, say, 5%, which is a nice middle ground. So that way we'll get a reasonable amount of resources on there. So that's reasonable at the moment. And then our enemy designs. What type of design are we going to go against? Now, we want to see all of the nice ships. Now, I'm going to put it just below Godly. Think expert designs. I think Godly designs are not that good. So I think that would be a little too much. But we're going to go against some of their better designs of ships, which means it will be a bit tougher. And then finally, I say finally, you've got at the bottom, you've got your resource style. Now you've got centralized resources. Centralized resources are where you've got one big pool that everyone can draw from. And localized resources are every ship and each area produces resources and you have to ship them around. Now I like that idea, so we're going to be putting that side in. Now this does increase your experience gain multiplier. As you can see, our experience gain is going to be 224% more than normal, because we've made it quite difficult on this here. Mostly I think because of the growth factor. So if we take the growth factor down to the starting point, 0.5, 183%. Yeah, okay, well we'll put it up to 0.6. That means we aren't going to have too many big battles. We don't want, thinking about it, I don't want too many battles where we're against large ships, because it's terrible for the video. It just goes slow. So in actual fact, let me just have a think about this. Let's take it down to the 0.5 where we started, but we'll give ourselves slightly less from the battles. So we're only going to take 2% from the battles, but the enemy aren't going to grow as fast either. So that should be about right. Yeah, that would be a good starting point. Obviously, later on, you could, if you wanted to really have a challenge, you could go for godly designs, get no resources, etc. But as I said, this isn't a challenge. This is a go through the game as such. So when we begin the new game, which we will do now, this is the starter fortress that everybody gets when they start the game, and it's a reasonable, it's a very nice design. I do like this design quite a lot. I think it's very good looking for a design. There's a few bits we can go with. First of all, let's have a little trip round. So we've got this. First of all, we have this basic cannon here, which, oops, let's fire with that one. It's not got a great rate of fire, so that could definitely be improved. This is our main resource gathering system here. So this is our resource gatherers. As you can see, they have actually placed a nice little symbol on there. Going around here, we'll go around this way. Now, what have we got over here? This is the Heartstone. So we got the Heartstone and the spawn beacon over here. A little bit of a generator and some electric batteries. What else we've got? Oh, that's the end of it here. We better go around this way then. Looks like crystal production. Some scrappers. Just to make sure the scrappers are off. Yep, scrappers are off, because the scrapper basically converts metal into scrap, but we don't need too much of that. Certainly at this beginning stage. Very often they are taken off, these scrappers. They're not that much useful. So now we're in the production area by the looks of it. So we've got fuel storage here, and we have, by the looks of it, a basic refinery system here. So there's a refinery, some cokers, some crackers, etc. So what efficiency have we got? We've got an efficiency of 15.26 by the looks of it. So that's not terrible, and we can improve on that, I'm sure. What have we got up here? Oh, that looks like the missile system up the top. So if we go down the steps, was there somewhere, any other places to go? I'm sure there is. I'm sure, I know there's some more places around here. Where? Let's go through. Is there a way through here? Oh yes, there is. What's down here? Down here. There we go. Knew there was a place down the bottom here. So down the bottom we got our storage areas and the oil drills. They're the oil drills going down, drilling some oil. Some storage containers, by the looks of it, and the engines. Let's see what these engines are like. Can I assign the engine block? This might be easier if I go into build mode from here. Let's see where the engine core is, just there. So let's see, output 700, 4 superchargers, couple of 4 cylinders. Looks okay. Let's have a look at it if it's fuel usage. Normalized. There we go. So it's mainly designed for high RPM. It's only running at a nice low percentage at the moment, which is fine. Okay, they'll do for the moment. We're not going to muck around with it at the moment. So okay, that's a lot of the basics of the ship. Can I get back up the top there? Okay, let's just zip up a little bit. And we have finally over here, we have our radar. And we can go up into the, looks like the control deck. Come on, let me through. Thank you very much. Let me through the door. Bloody thing. There we go. Right, we're sitting in. We've got our controls, and it looks like the main AI here. So, nice little design. It's got some extra materials which can be used elsewhere. And we can take it off, maybe redesign it. One problem with this, in my view, is everything is based around this core area here, which is not very well protected. If you get a hit in this area, we're going to end up taking out the engines, the oil, and all your storage, all in one hit. So, not good in that respect. Oh, I didn't look in here. This is all ammo, I think, in here. Yeah, so if this one gets hit, then all your AI goes and everything else. So, a few little issues as such that we need to get round. What else have we got? We've got this nice little starter rib here. So this is a starting ship that you get given at the beginning. It's got a few missiles, which is good, and you could drive it around yourself, but it's not AI controlled. So what is the first steps on this at this moment, I think, are to first of all get yourself defensive. The first problem we're going to have, if we go to the map, is we're in this bottom corner at the moment, and this is the whole map. Obviously we can only see what our radar can show, but we're going to be getting some ships coming in from the deep water guard. So we're going to need to defend ourselves against them initially at worst case. So what I think would be good is to use the starter rib as a basis for a little patrol vessel. Now what I'm going to do is, if we go onto this into build mode, there we go, and we're going to take off what we don't need. So we don't need the control, don't need the seat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make this AI controlled. So I'm going to take off a few bits on here so I can see what's here. We need to get a controller for this missile system. So let's just take this back as far as I can. Can't take that, so I need to get a controller underneath this here. So let's see what's directly underneath. Oh, just some wooden blocks, that's good. So if we take that one out, take that one out as well. And then in here, all we need to do is we can put a AI, local weapon controller. Put a local weapon controller there. See, it's now controlling one item. And what we can do is then put a wireless receiver on the end of this here. And we won't worry about failsafe. That should now be ready if we create an AI now. So if we now go back here and we do a say an AI mainframe. Now where are we going to put the mainframe? We could just put it here on the deck where this was, and then armor it up a little bit. We haven't got to worry too much here about defenses, to be frankly honest. If I put a left and right card, which means I can then attach a card to the left and right of this, and we need a naval card here which will allow us to, as you can see, the ship is already starting to move itself, which is good. Then we need a to be able to fire the guns. We don't need another one, but we'll put a target prioritization, which does allow us to define what type of targets it goes to. And then finally we will need a transmitter so that this can talk and control that weapon we just built. Okay, so now we have, this is AI controlled basically. If we go to the naval card, we can say, right, we've got missiles on here, so we don't want this getting too close. So we'll enter broadside at, say, about 500 meters. And leave it at, say, 600. Well, that's annoying when it does that. Okay, and the angle, we want it to go, let's see, slightly, almost 880 degrees. We'll just have it slightly, slight angle, let's say 150. 150 degrees, why not? Minimum range, we don't want it to go any closer than 450, say. So this is going to try and stay away from people as such. And we'll have to disable the reverse on it as well. That means it will always go forward. It won't try and reverse out of the way. It will always turn around. Okay, so that's good. Prioritization. We'll leave those for standards at the minute, because this is just a starter, a starter ship. We're not going to be doing anything massive. Now let's just get some armor around this AI, because if the AI gets hit, basically it won't be good. So we'll put some metal in here, I think. Something like that, and then some metal blocks maybe in the front. And how about let's see, what else have we got here? Let's see, what else is it used? Oh, I'll put some metal in there just to add a little to it. Take them off. And then how about a slope? Let's see, a metal slope. Yeah, that looks reasonable. We'll take that bit out of there, and then we'll just put a nice little slope down here. just to finish it off. So we've got a little bit of metaling here. Put up some blocks just across here just to add to it. Now I don't know if it's got, we need some repairs. How's this, in case it hasn't got any repair bots, we'll put a couple of repair bots in here somewhere. Let's find somewhere to put some repair bots. That's the engine. Any room down here? Oh, we've got a room down there. We put one in there, put one in there, and a tentacle so that it can repair its brethren if they should get damaged. There we go. So now we've got an AI controlled. So if I come out of build mode now and go into the map and find our starter rib, there we go, and give it a little course. Where are we? Go over there. Give it a little bit of a little course there. Then go back in. Yep, we have it. It is steering itself and it is looking after itself quite nicely. Now I haven't finished yet. Let's have a look at these missiles. So now I'm thinking here we need to have a change. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a torpedo on one of them there, and let's see, some fins and one fuel tank, and then put a sonar on the front. So that's one sonar torpedo on there that it can use, and then we'll leave that one as the infrared. Then let's change this one to be what should we change this? Let's change this to be 2 fins and a fuel, and leave it on the infrared. So I'm creating multiple types of missiles here. Now I don't really have to do this. Right, this will be a longer range, and on this one, oops, I'll put fuel in there, and then we're going to put this one. Let's make this a single pixel. So now we've got 4 different types of missile. We just to sort of mix it up a little bit, we have the single pixel, which is going to be our high-speed missile, for want of a better word. Longer range, high speed, tracks down an enemy. We're going to have a slightly more agile missile here, a normal missile, which is the standard, you know, bit of fuel, 1 fin, etc., and a torpedo. So we should be able to take on a variety of targets as such, for as long as this lasts. This isn't intended to last very long. Well, one thing we will want to do is save this constructible, and we're gonna, we haven't decided what we're gonna call this at the moment, but we're gonna call it the starting rib armed. There we go. Excellent. So that's now on its little patrol. Now what I would like to do now is build a few more of those. So what we do back at our base is we find our spawner, and what we're going to do is we're going to hold for 5 seconds and until say 99% done. There we go. And where we got armed starter, where was it? It was under starter, try to remember what it was, starter rib armed. There we go. So this is one way we can create it. So we've selected our blueprint, and we can load it, and there we go, and you can see it's starting to be built. Oops, going around, and we can see there's our tentacles. There is another way of doing this. If we go to the map and select our vehicle, what we can do is say duplicate. On here there is a where's the button? There we go. We can duplicate it. Now you can see it's gone starting ribbed armed, and you can see it's actually joined the fleet somewhere. We should see it. There we can. But you'll notice it is down at 0%, which is fine at this stage. You know, we don't need anything more. Now we want this rib to exit this fleet, and we want him to, where are we? Come on. Can't select him. There we go. Right. Now, I've still got the starting fortress. Don't want the starting fortress, want you. Can I have you, sir? Thank you. You're the one I am after. Starting rib, thank you. Right, so you will go over here so you can join them when they get back on their little merry way. Now, the starting rib, what I can do is say, start being made and repaired. So he should now start using some of our resources, although there isn't many resources to be used at this stage because he's not close enough to the base. So what I want to do on this, the starting fortress, is let me just slow down the game just a little bit while we talk about this. At the early part of the game, we've created a little defensive force, so that's going to be our mainly defensive forces using those starter ribs. But the other side we want to do is increase the defences and of our starting fortress. Now, you've got two choices here. Oh, you've got more than two choices, but generally you've got two choices. One is you could destroy the whole thing and start again from scratch, and or maybe even load up a design that you've created prior to the game in the designer and replace all of the parts in this vessel with your new ship. Option 2, which I think we'll take, is you can develop this, remove the bits you don't want and expand it as you require to give you a new ship and work on all the different parts. And that's what I'm gonna do, I think, in the over the next couple of episodes as such. So first of all, what we're going to think about is how can we make this more defensive. Now, my personal way of making things more defensive is not have everything in one place. So I tend to spread my fortresses out a little bit, or do like it, these big fortresses, so that if we get hit in any one place, the whole ship will not be destroyed, because that's obviously a big problem. Now, at the moment, the two biggest problems it has is all of this ammo in this one block. So I'm going to remove all of these ammo storages and put them somewhere else. Now, I prefer putting them underwater. So yes, they'll get taken out by torpedoes, but if they do blow up, they might blow up a few fortress parts, you know, some of these turbines, but the whole ship isn't going to blow up. And you only put a few, maybe 4 to 8 kegs in at one place at any time. And that is, as I say, my preference for that particular area. Other changes, obviously these weapons are not in a great place. This isn't very fast firing, which is not good. It's got a few missiles, but they're nothing special. Again, you know, we've got they're just going to be standard sort of missiles. They're variable thrust, which is good. So they're slightly slower. So they are quite long range on these, but nothing special. So I would normally create a few more. And the other side is the oil production is, again, a little bit vulnerable and maybe not in a great place. So I'm going to start by creating a bit of a skeleton. Right, so I have now created a basic template, a little outer area which joins all of the sections I'm going to build up. So we're going to now use these as areas where they will extend on upwards and downwards, and this will be our outer platform. So the first thing I'm going to work on is going to be getting rid of all of this ammo. So what I'm going to do is we'll leave the ammo in there for the moment. So what I would do is find somewhere where we can put these ammo blocks, and we'll separate them out. We're going to put a few of them, sort of a few ammo areas down out of the way. Now we'll put them actually on the edge, I think, of here. We'll put some near the rear. So and we'll put them down a bit. So if we go down to, like so, come on, go down 2, and then we put our ammo on the bottom of this here. So we should have an ammo barrel just there. And one, we'll put 2 blocks of it on here for the moment. And then we just gonna cover it around it, basically, with some more wood. So let me just see. So we put a wood block round the top on there. Now I could do this in metal, but at the moment I just want to do this in wood because it's easier. And yes, it will blow up. I'm not saying this won't blow up at all. Far from it. You know, we're gonna put a little enough on there so that it's got to go. It's not going to get hit by a little bit of shrapnel. But the idea purely is, and that's all we need. So it's just a little simple little block like that. The idea being, when it gets hit, it's not going to take out all the surrounding parts of the ship out, and then we can reproduce that again. Right, so I have just done a little bit of work on moving all of that ammo. So I armoured up the building a little bit more because it's going to be my central point of the ship. Also underneath, I moved the spawn point and the origin point under here and the AI, and took out all the ammo and ammo production, so that's now all in the other areas. So we have got the ammo router and the various ammo customizer, which is just for basically the gun down the forward, which is fine for the moment. That can stay here, doesn't need to be connected to anything specifically, so it should work. Up the top, it's still the same. It's got the controller. If we go here, it's got a nice seat for me to sit in and control from, but it's no longer got the vulnerable AI, etc. So, which is fine. And I've just put some bit more metal on it, just to make it a little bit more armoured. A couple of bits I could do some more metal, etc., but it will do for the moment, at least. So, what is next? Well, actually, I'm thinking we've got some work on here, but I want to do a bit of investigation. Use them, and let's go and see if we can find some trouble for ourselves. So I'm going to basically put them on a little bit of a patrol. Now, to do a patrol, what you can do is you can hold the shift button down. So if we go down to here, then we say up to there, back to our base, over to here. If I want to make this a standard patrol route, all I have to do is click on this in this circle here, and it's now a route, and they'll continue on that patrol until they encounter something, which is what we're going to do. So let's just fast forward this. We'll have to take the fortress out of play, so we just take that out. Now we've got an extra speed available to us, so we can go to 4 times speed. We didn't need to go that far. Looks like we already have something coming in. So what have we got here? A Riverhome, and looks like there's something else there. No, just a Riverhome. Okay, let's go in against this Riverhome then. So I'm going to start it at a reasonable range because we've got missiles, so range is possibly to our benefit. Now we're only going to come in with these. Now we've actually got all of our units in, and we'll go in just with the starting ribs, 10,000 block. Nothing really we need to change on this here. We don't need to change any of their positions as such. We could just give them a little bit more of a spread out. That's maybe a bit too much actually. Let's just give them a slight spread like that. That should do fine. Right, let's go into the battle. Right, where are they? Let's go and find them. Now I'm not controlling any weapons, no. And missiles fired from our ribs. So all our ribs did fire at the Riverhome. So what have we got? We've got so this is the new Riverhome. Yeah. There we go. Nice little screenshot there. So Riverhome. What size have we got? 2,500 blocks. So it's quite a big ship in comparison. Oh, and it looks like I think that's a Sea Adder. Yep, Sea Adder. And what have we got here that's the flying ship we've got flying over here? and it is a Drake, a light Drake. Okay, so that's coming in. That might be as much a problem as any others. Now, our ships are not very defensive. They get hit, and there's some big shells coming in here, but looks like they are firing their missiles. They did some good bit of damage against the Drake there, which is good. The Drake is coming in with some shells, but they're luckily... oh, so that's the Riverhome, but they're not that accurate, luckily, so far. Now, what are they going for? It looks like they're mainly going for this Riverhome is the primary target for their missiles, etc. so far, which is fine. Got some more section of missiles coming in. Looks like I could do with some more ammo production or something on those ribs, but they're doing their little bit of damage. Oh, looks like one of our ribs at least just got blown up. Was it from the big shells, or it could have been the Drake actually? May have even destroyed itself actually, or one of the other ships, because they are getting a little close to each other, so they may have damaged each other. Oh, he is firing now. They've got to their point where they're going broadside. Oh, he's gone upside down, unfortunately. Oh, it looks like another one has taken a bit of damage. So, possibly they're either need to be a little bit further away. He's taking a bit of damage here. Oh, that took it out. Okay, they're now without any means of defending themselves. Okay, which means they're now going to be heading towards the base. And we haven't upgraded the base yet. This could be bad. Okay, right, so what do we need to do? This is now emergencies time. Oops, wrong one. Let's see what we can do to quickly regain some here. Now, what we could do is get it to build another starter rib. We'll get it to in there, so that can be building that at the same time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at this quickly. That's a bit better. Yay, okay, so that did that. This gun's okay. Let's see what else we could do to this. It's not that good. And we've got to wait for these other ships. Now, our starter rib, we can build another starter rib while we're waiting. Let's see how he's doing. Is he even surviving to come around? Now, our missiles are actually eventually going for him. Look at that, that's actually quite effective, our long-range missiles. But some of their other vessels, I think, are stuck on this island. So they're hitting there, going over, and then attacking it. So the island's actually protecting us at this time, which is advantageous. They are actually also able to get us with some of their long-range weaponry, which is not so good. Oh, you can see some of those large cram cannons are coming in with quite a bit of force. Well, at the moment it's mainly missiles which are doing our defences, which is fine. Yeah, for the moment I'm not too worried. Just hopefully we won't get taken out by those big cram missiles, cram shots from his big cannons before our missiles can do enough damage on him. Right, we've got another starter rib. Okay, I'm going to try and zerg it with some more starter ribs. So let's see if we can, yeah, starter rib, load a starter rib, get it start building. Now we are constantly, I'm just hoping we survive enough here. The other alternative is some more missiles. Our missiles are doing quite well. They're making their way through. Now that he's in range, also our cannon can also start firing at him as well. So let's overload him with targets is my item here. So another starter rib. Oh, that was a nasty shot from his big cannon. Come on, guys. We're going to be losing this. He is damaged in enemy territory, and he's not really doing us any more damage so far. But I need to be able to finish him off. Okay, so end of the battle. We just about survived. After I had to build some resource gatherers on the back because they had destroyed. This was the whole said about earlier about having no redundancy. Where, let me just slow this down for a second. Where they took out all these resource gatherers, and I actually wasn't even building enough resource gatherers to repair myself. So that was a problem. Again, once they took out the gun here, we were left with no attack. Luckily they didn't take out the missiles, so we were able to get them with our missiles eventually and take them out. But it was, yeah, it was close. Tip in general, at the beginning of the game, make sure you get your defences up quickly. You know, luckily I did have the ribs, but they weren't enough on their own. You need to get your defences ready for that attack coming in at the very beginning, which we did. So, on the next episode, I will be increasing the defences of our base in preparation for the next attack that comes along, and improving our starter ribs a little bit. Question for people, I'll ask is what should I focus on in this particular campaign? What I mean by that, I like to give my ships, etc., that I will be building a focus. So, for instance, last time I did, it was more submarines was the primary function of the ships, and missiles. So this time, should I go for aerial vehicles as an example, and mainly make aircraft? Or another idea I like is doing what I call I wouldn't say reality, but classical shapes. So everything is built with a real life example in mind. So the ships that I build will look like real life ships, not fantasy ships. Anyway, if you've got any good ideas of what would be a good focus for this particular campaign, let me know. I will also be taking on people's ships, some of the ones that had previously been submitted to me, and maybe some more in the future as well. I'm not going to introduce them a little bit at a time and at the appropriate time, rather than trying to do a mass battle with them like I did before. It just caused too many problems, unfortunately. But let's see how we go. So until next time, hopefully a little bit quicker with the episodes. I'll try and get a couple out each week. Don't think I'll get one a day, but I'll see how we go. Maybe one every other day or so, and then a couple at the weekend. But until next time, click that like button if you liked it. Please leave comments below. I'll be answering all of the comments as of now. But until next time, have fun.